Blaney to the outside. Not the preferred line. Briscoe's going to argue a little bit down here in the corner.
Back behind him, Ty Dillon making a comeback after he lost those positions. Jumps in front of the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. Here's Marty.
Adam, to Steve's point just a moment ago, the window is now open to get to the end. The plan for Shane Van Gisbergen was to pit in 2 laps, but SVG came on the radio when Stephen Dorian told him that, and he said, hey, I'm seeing some rain on the track, so they're going to run a few extra laps here, Kim, to see what the rain does.
Well, remember, Bell was one of the first to pit during the cycle that these top 3 have. Last on lap 16, Adam Peterson, the crew chief, came on the radio about 2 laps ago, said, we are in our window. You need to be ready with your switches. Max Save, the crew on the wall. We expect them any minute, Trevor.
Yeah, Michael McDowell, one of those cars that's on the other strategy, pitted at lap 28 as he gets passed by Ty Gibbs, who actually has a slightly better tire advantage and fuel advantage here. We're going to see a little bit of a longer stop for the 71 than the 54 will have to do on this green flag, Kim.
And you see the 54. They had a larger window. They were the most recent on pit road, so they last stopped on 43, so they have a lot of leeway on what they can do in terms of strategy.
Absolutely, Kim. That is a big opportunity for Gibbs. He has driven all the way back up to 3rd, continues to be the fastest car on the racetrack every single lap, 5.5 seconds behind the leader. I'm not sure if they can make that all up on pit road, but he should come off of pit road right on the rear bumper of SVG. It's gonna all come down to pit stops and potential rain as we see Bell swings right. First leader to come to pit road. The 20 of Bell is gonna come get some fresh tires, Kim.
And remember, Christopher Bell was last on pit road, lap 16, so they're gonna wanna get that packed full of fuel. Christopher saying, I need more help on slower corners. Definitely losing rear grip that run. This car, though, very good on the long run. They'll take those 4 fresh Goodyear tires, 2 cans, and pack it full of Sunoco fuel.
Reporter, remember, backwards pit stops. That is clunky, it is slower. It's very easy for the driver to drive through too many boxes. These boxes are small. You saw the 20 wait on gas. That's what I'm talking about. Tires were on, waiting on fuel. I expect the 88 to also wait on gas. The 54 does not have to wait. Is that enough, though, to make up those 5 seconds?
You know, I look at drivers and where they are. Cindric back there in 4th, pitted at lap 41. Chase Elliott lap 42. Other drivers that have good track position that should not really have to wait on fuel, and that means they minimize their time and open the door to gain some position here through this cycle of stops.
And SVG with much older tires is just trying to maintain that gap on Gibbs. Gibbs with fresher tires can run until he's uncomfortable, right? So he can run extra laps if he needs. We'll see how much longer the 88 runs. Him and the 20 were only about a couple of wins. Can today be the day? He has drove an impeccable race. That yellow was kind of unfortunate. He will restart about 10th, I believe, but with 33 to go, I think he has time, if he can stay clean, to take this lead and win this race.
Well, he's going to have to drive through a few guys to get there. One person who's not is Christopher Bell. He's going to be starting up toward the front on the front row here with Shane Van Gisbergen. We heard about the loose wheel possible. This is shaping up to really fall into the hands of Christopher Bell, who won at COTA earlier this year. This guy's strong on the road courses, as he's shown us everything today.
Despite the question marks and everything that Marty's talked about, I'm going with the guy out front, Shane Van Gisbergen. You know, he said to his teammate Ross Chastain, I just need to qualify well. That was Friday. He went out and delivered yesterday in qualifying, puts it on the pole. Then really, really good this afternoon. And now we get to the stretch run. He's got the track position in charge of the field. I think he can get it done, get his 2nd career win, and really upset the playoff apple cart because he's 33rd in the standings.
So let's just look at this 88 pit stop. Remember, normally loose wheels are when the jack gets dropped before wheels are tight. Left side's a little bumbling coming off, but they're both tight well before the jack man drops. You come to this side, they're waiting on gas, so while they're in a hurry, they're like at 80%. Right side's tightened. The jack is set down nice and easy, so that's not a guarantee that the wheels are tight, but I see why the team feels confident. There wasn't really any question mark about when the jack dropped, but obviously SVG is feeling something. We will see if it turns into something more than just a feeling here on this restart.
Van Gisbergen, Bell up front. In row 2, Bowman, Custer. Briscoe's up there with Buscher. It'll be 32 laps to go when we get the green.
Another wild restart. Who's going to survive it down here in 1, 2, and 3?
We're about to find out. Off we go once again in Mexico City.
Christopher Bell was able to get the lead from the last restart. Again, neck and neck with SVG down into turn 1.
Bowman out of line, looking inside a little bit there. Van Gisbergen managing nicely as he gets in. Bowman comes through. Look at Briscoe getting aggressive in the 19, and he hit the tire barrier.
Oh, the 11's almost spinning around. Truex back there, he gets straightened out.
Several drivers coming across the grass. It's just a free-for-all coming off of turn 3 here. These restarts absolutely